Hello there. Hi, it's me, Sahad, and you're listening to my podcast. It'd be dumb to do this for the rest of the episode with autotune, so let's turn it off. Okay, we're good. In this episode, we dive headfirst into why mindset is the most important thing in your life when it comes to your mental well-being. But first, let's drink some coffee.
On that coffee break, can't even stay awake. I can listen to Drake, call it head and snake.
Welcome to the first ever episode of Coffee Break with Sahad. And if you haven't guessed yet, I'm Sahad. This series dives into everything that I find interesting when it comes to mental well-being to help both you and me out. So it's a journey for us both. I hope you find some value in it. Mindset, heavy word, but generally quite a few people give it importance from my experience. And understandably so, because our society hasn't given it the weight that it deserves. I've always been curious about how a select few people can be so effective with their time in their lives, and I've narrowed it down to mindset. Now, what is mindset? It's a mental attitude. Yeah, it's as simple as that. Like many others, I've spent so much time binging shows or going through Instagram or 9gag. Shout out to the 9gaggers out there. So much of my time spent behind consuming. But deep down, I felt guilty. I felt as if I was wasting my time. Just like the average person, I have a few goals, a few boxes to tick. But I've rarely felt like I had the mental energy to give aspirations enough time and attention. Then it's a downward spiral. I feel guilty about not working enough. Then I watched more shows. Then I felt more guilty. It's a never-ending vicious cycle. It's actually really hard to get out of because you kind of hate yourself in the process. You feel useless. You look at so many other people doing so many amazing things online and you think to yourself, hey, I can do that too. But you don't. And that's scary, to be quite honest with you. It hits too close to home for me as well. Now, there may be many reasons for this. The people around you might weigh you down. You might be exhausted after a day's worth of work at the office where you only show up to pay the bills. You want to just come home and watch a few episodes of The Office and eat your dinner. When the weekend rolls around, you just want to take care of your errands and then stay at home and lounge around. Maybe go out for a bit. Then soon enough, the dreaded Monday hits and it's rinse and repeat. Or if you're simply invested in your job and want to move up, it's hard to take the initiative to do better than the average, to put in more effort than the rest, to get more certifications and attend those webinars and lectures, to read those books that'll help you. We get into a state of comfort and recovery from all the crap in life, but I'm not blaming anybody for it. Life's difficult, bro. But I should mention that idling around is very essential to our health, but everything in moderation, right? As humans, we're naturally geared towards always wanting to do better, to be better versions of ourselves. So we experience anxiety when we're not doing it better. And it's fine to want to live better. So we experience anxiety when we're not doing better. And it's fine to want to live a better life and contribute more to the world, because without that need to do better, we wouldn't be as advanced as we are as a civilization. You look at the advancements in medicine and tech, we wouldn't have had cars if Henry Ford just looked at horses and been like, yeah, that's good enough. We don't need anything better. So it's crucial for us to have this drive to do better for the betterment of our own selves. So don't paint it as the villain. But ultimately, we're just looking for some peace and some happiness in our lives through whichever means we choose. Whatever your goal might be, what I want to do with this episode is to get you, and myself for that matter, to understand mindset and how we can control ourselves to be better versions of ourselves. Whatever that may be, that's up to you to decide. But how do we actually utilize our energies to be better? How do we get our mindset right? We need to actively realign our inner workings. It takes work, but it's possible. The most important thing for me has been to not judge myself negatively and be kind towards myself. I'm a human, not a robot. I have an endless amount of inner workings within me that are a huge question mark. Even the top neuroscientists and scholars and philosophers really don't know what's going on in here. So it's okay to not give ourselves a negative feedback every time something doesn't go our way. We're actually so quick to automatically hurl an insult towards ourselves when we don't do what we planned on doing. That's terrible. Everything isn't binary and grayscale, so please, I beg you, and myself for that matter, to not judge yourself. Don't insult yourself. This brings me to the next point. We have to start paying attention to our own thoughts. There's a broken tape of negative greatest hits playing inside ourselves all the time. Why am I not good enough? Why am I not skinny enough? I'm not rich enough or good looking enough. Nobody respects me. And the list goes on and on. It's actually horrifying when you truly start to pay attention to these automatic thoughts within. And what's worse, it's being repeated endlessly throughout the day, 365 days a year, 366 if it's a leap year. Are you even surprised at why you feel crappy at times, as you do about yourself? But in reality, you're actually in a much better state than you think you are. Chances are that people don't even notice these things about you as much as you do. Because news alert, they're too focused on their own crap to truly care. So here we are, walking around, just insulting ourselves mentally. What a time to be alive. So pay attention to your thoughts. Listen to the things that you're saying to yourself that are stealing your power to do anything proactive. It's hard, I know, because it's something almost none of us exercise. But you have to create this habit slowly but surely so that you can get to a better mindset. When you start to monitor your thoughts and start to identify all the negative things you're saying to yourself, you gently realign a thought to a positive one. Let's say you tell yourself that you're not skinny enough on a regular basis. Every time that thought occurs, you gently tell yourself, no, I'm good enough. Yes, I can go to the gym and eat healthier, obviously, but what I am right now is enough. Let's say you're beating yourself up about not working enough because, let's face it, we're in the success matrix and we feel useless if we're not successful, whatever that means. When that thought arises, you gently tell yourself, look at how far you've come, though. And there's always tomorrow. You'll get to where you need to be. It'll all be okay because it is okay right now. If you can start doing this regularly, I can guarantee you that it'll get easier with time. I know it's difficult to constantly monitor these automatic thoughts, but this might be the most important thing you do for your well-being because it's so important to own our own thoughts rather than letting them own us. Again, what we think becomes our reality, right? Now it's time to start changing some of your beliefs about yourself. I bet there's a string of beliefs you hold about yourself that are counterproductive towards your well-being. Whether it may be stories about the past that go against you, or believing that you're damaged in some way. Believing you should be at a certain financial stage, or my personal favorite, believing that you'll finally be happy when blah 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 happens. That's where we're wrong. These statements are only true if we believe that they're true. Chances are that they're not. So it's important to start changing these beliefs bit by bit. Scarcity versus abundance. Being in a scarcity mindset makes you think that you don't have enough time, resources, money, talent, energy, luck. But abundance is the complete opposite, where you find that you have more than enough time, talent, energy, luck, opportunities. When you're in a scarcity mindset, you're in a panic. the sink or swim mode. And that causes unprecedented amounts of anxiety and stress, which hinders your ability to think properly. You're reactionary, and it feels as if things are happening to you. Abundance, on the other hand, alleviates a lot of the anxiety and helps you realize that things are happening for you. This is the major difference in mindset. When you act from a place of abundance, you're more likely to be more at peace with yourself and what you're doing. Now, this doesn't mean that you aren't going through trials and tribulations. It only means that the way you choose to look at your current state aids you in thinking from a calmer, more clearer perspective. This is the one that I have a hard time overcoming because since I was a kid, I was told that I don't have enough time or enough talent by my parents, teachers, the world basically. I'll notice myself going into a panic mode because I don't feel like I'm doing enough with my time sometimes, or that I just don't have it in me to be where I want to be. But I'll continue to address this problem that I have. I really hope that you do as well. It's also important to constantly have a conversation with yourself. Think of yourself as your best friend and have open-ended conversations about your own anxieties. Why am I feeling the way that I am? Is it because this and that happened? How can I move forward from this? As basic as this sounds, writing my thoughts down have helped me immensely. Every morning, I'll wake up and I'll be bombarded with all these negativities and anxieties that I have, all these shortcomings that I feel that my life has. I'll sit down and have a conversation with myself through writing. I'll tell myself what I'm thinking about. Then I'll write down why I'm thinking about it and how it makes me feel. Then I'll write down what I can do to alleviate the specific problems. Keep in mind that you need to be completely open and honest with yourself through this entire process, or it won't be as effective as you'd want it to be. The goal is to identify the problem, then create a constructive plan on getting out of the problem. And lists are important. I can't stress this enough. Making achievable action plans always gets your mind started on a way out. When you truly visualize the fixes to the problems you feel you have, that's half the work done right there. Getting the wheels turning is the most important thing. Think about the intentions that you have in this life. Think of yourself as a car and your intentions as the GPS. If you don't have your intentions set out straight, you'll just be going at any direction, and chances are it won't be towards a place that you want. Another thing that I'd like to talk about is the importance of being an island when it comes to this whole process. There's so much noise out there that it gets suffocating at times. I want you to cut out all the BS and let nothing adverse enter the temple of your mind. Have that tunnel vision and move forward. That's the only way you'll get anywhere. Last but not least, any good thing takes time to achieve. It's so important to make incremental baby steps before you can think about running. Sure, you want results right now. You want to be on your way towards greener fields right now. But if you beat yourself up by being too hard on yourself from the get-go, you'll probably feel burned out. So start off small and celebrate any small milestones you reach. There will be days when you'll retreat and you'll be bombarded with thoughts you don't want, and that's okay. Be kind to yourself and understand that it's part of the process to take a step back sometimes. That's the only way you'll move forward. Give yourself ample time and gently and lovingly pull yourself out of it again. I believe in you. So this has been the first episode of my podcast. I really hope you took something from it because I know that I did when I was researching and doing these myself. Mindset is such a vast topic that it'd be a shame if I didn't have more episodes dedicated to it. So expect it. I really do hope all the best for you and your mind. And if anything, you can always reach out to me over at Instagram at I am Sahad. The podcast is streaming on a lot of platforms, so if you search for me on wherever you spend your time on, chances are that you'll find me there. Take care of yourself.
On that coffee break, can't even stay awake. I can listen to Drake.